the way. And what it looks like is that as he kind of makes progress, he'll occasionally come across additional groups or individual Russian soldiers. He's asked during the course of this interview, how are you resupplied? Because again, if you go back to the beginning here, 3 bottles of water, 3 magazines of ammunition. And we should mention when it comes to the ammunition, like, yes, you want that when you're moving into a war zone. The vast majority of these Russians are never going to see a Ukrainian soldier. They're like, the majority of them are getting killed by drones before they even reach the line of contact. So they don't even have anything to shoot at. I guess they're probably trying to shoot down the FPV drones, but nonetheless, 3 magazines, not a lot. 3 bottles of water, not a lot. So resupplies have to happen. And we've talked about this in previous videos, how this is being done. He said all of the resupply is being done via drone. He said not quadcopters, but FPV drones, so strike drones, would fly into some spot without an explosive charge, all right? So instead of, an RPG warhead or some type of high explosive, that weight instead is like a water bottle. So he says FPV drones would just fly into some spot in the yard and crash, scattering everything. Usually, they'd send out square packets of porridge, rice, stew, etc., but they'd break upon landing. The impact when the drone falls was very strong. One drone could carry a can of stew, 2 roll-tons, so kind of packaged noodles, 4 chocolate bars, a power bank, and a square packet of porridge, plus cigarettes. That's the resupply. Hopefully it comes in and they'll keep you moving. But when you hear about Russian soldiers in some of these positions for months on end, that is how they're staying in the fight, is drones flying limited supplies towards them one at a time. Now, he said eventually at one of these positions in kind of a dugout, he got a radio call giving him the final directions to a point that he needed to go and occupy. He said it was the coordinates of a house. They went out together. He found one other guy that he was working with at this point. He said, quote, "It was really scary. You didn't know where you were going or why you were going." Again, mission brief is far too complex. That's not happening at all. It is literally, here is a house you need to go to. Daniel has no idea why he's going to that house or what to expect there. Now, by the time they got there, they kind of set up camp inside this building, inside this abandoned home, and decided to start scavenge for supplies. They don't know if they're going to be there for a night, a week, a month, or if they're just going to be forgotten. So they're starting to look around. What can they gather together to make life a little more comfortable? And in the process, they come across more Russian soldiers in this area. At this point in Daniel's story, there are 6 of them. 6 is going to pretty quickly become 2. Now, 6, you have Daniel and Senya, Amelia and Shah, Kit and Shmel, S-H-M-E-L. And just one after the other. Like, this is where the story gets absolutely crazy. Everything up to this point is war. And it's kind of what we're seeing day in and day out. But from here forward, you've got Russian soldiers just deciding to kill each other. Like, it's wild. So they say they found a huge bottle of homemade wine. So they got a little drunk, started playing music on the radio and yelling. Then Senya and Shah came back to our house, the 2 of them with a bottle. Shah started arguing with Shmel, then arguing with Kit. And that's it. Senya kills Shah. When they asked him why, like, excuse me? And the reporter was great in this, I think. It's all written text, but you can hear, or you can see him saying, like, hold on, stop. You just, like, they just killed him? Well, what are you doing that for? Like, they're not even in contact with Ukrainian forces. They're just killing each other. And he says the issue here is Shah previously had bragged about killing his number 2, his buddy. So Senya figured, hey, I'm going to be next. We may as well kill him before he kills us. So that's some camaraderie for the front. We're down to 5. 6 Russian soldiers just turned into 5. 0 contact with Ukrainian forces. They say, then Shmel took me and Amelia, this is Daniel, then Shmel told me that Amelia was lying in the house next door and he needed to be taken care of. I guess it was Shah's number 2. So they were like, if we're going to kill one of the 2 in this pairing, we got to kill the other one. So he said, I don't know what happened there. I was sleeping at the time. I woke up to the sound of machine gun fire. So now we're down to 4 Russian soldiers. It was 6, down to 4. He says, a few days later, Senya was upset that Kit wasn't helping with cooking or gathering of supplies. So drunk Senya kills Kit. He was trying to hand a machine gun to Shmel to kill Kit, and it went off. Like he was planning on killing him and accidentally killed him in the process. I don't know. So now we're down to 3. We've got Senya, Shmel, and Daniel, the guy telling the story. And he says, quote, so it turns out we had to kill Senya. Just matter of fact. Because why not? He says, well, to stop him from threatening us. I guess he had been threatening the others at this point, and they were feeling a little bit uncomfortable. They said he just started shooting randomly in a drunken stupor, so he was killed. Now we're down to 2, Shmel and Daniel. That's it. 6-2, zero contact with Ukrainian forces. And this is right about the time they get picked up by Ukrainians moving through and clearing this area. He says, the last week was the worst. We practically ate nothing. We intercepted our packages, then the bad weather set in. We had to collect rainwater to drink it. In general, they couldn't drop food on us there. Your groups, the Ukrainians, kept intercepting us. They said, what about ammunition and weapons? So they sent us 3 grenades, but that's it. There's no way they could have delivered weapons using an FPV drone, and then your group arrived and we surrendered. You can understand in that situation why these Russian soldiers are surrendering, right? And we're seeing this play out in multiple areas of the front where the infiltrators make it through to some position like this, and they sit there for days, weeks, or months, and the only resupply are these FPV drones coming in, and we're seeing that Ukraine is intercepting those more and more. So if you start to get left out there with no reinforcements, no resupplies, and the Ukrainian force comes, as they outline in this story, these guys kind of raise their hands and say, we're ready to give up. That was enough. Very few options, right? You're essentially just waiting there to die. So pretty crazy story here from Daniel outlining what it's like in these assault units right now. All of it kind of checked out. It was interesting to see like the detail that they go into with some of this, like the supplies and all of that and how they move from one point to the next. I was not expecting a first-person account of, yeah, we just killed all of our buddies. Like, he got drunk, so we had to kill him. He pointed a weapon at us, so we had to kill him. And we were worried that he might kill us, so we had to kill him. 4 Russians killed in the span of, I think it was a little over a week in this position. That's a pretty wild dynamic to this conflict. So anyways, if interested in reading the full report, we'll have that linked in the description below. That's all we got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Oblivion rejects you. Make use of such opportunity. Boo.